iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. I will be all over the place today in this podcast. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to do a little fantasy baseball, a little fantasy football, little DFS golf. That's what I'm going to do in the show. I'm telling you that right now. I am telling you that right now. All right. Starting in with a little fantasy football. Josh McDaniels does not take the job with the Indianapolis Colts. You shocked by that? I know I'm a little shocked by that. Got to be honest with you. So where did that come? Where did that come from? Got to come from a couple of places. One, maybe Bill Belichick told Josh McDaniels, look, I got another year in me. Maybe two. Hang around. You'll be the coach one day. Gotta think that's a possibility. Number two, Belichick says to him, look, we got Tom Brady. We're here together. We got another shot at a Super Bowl. We go down in history. Maybe so. Three, maybe McDaniels realizes that Andrew Luck is not going to be 100%. Right? And maybe it's a big mistake. But what about all these guys who signed? All these assistant coaches? I mean, this is crazy stuff here. These guys took jobs expecting him to be there. And now they're not going to be there? Well, you better find a head coach who's okay with that. I don't know. Now they're looking at Frank Reich, who I have no problem with. I'm a big Frank Reich kind of guy. So, we'll see. But man, McDaniels, I guess I respect it in this way. McDaniels can't go somewhere else and fail because he may not get a third shot. Right? So you don't want to go to Denver and Indianapolis and don't have Andrew Luck and then you're over. Then you're fired in 3 years and people are like, well, you suck. You're not as good as Tom Brady. When you could stay there in New England and you're a hero. I get it. But I still think it was a crappy thing to do to the city of Indianapolis. Those people deserve better. And if you knew you weren't going to take the job, tell everybody. Come on. How hard is that? Do the right thing. But the doctors are concerned about Andrew Luck. Torn labrum, not an easy surgery. I've told you, someone who had a torn labrum, not easy, very painful. Don't just come back and start flinging passes 80 yards. I hope we see him again. He's a phenomenal player. Will he ever be the same? We don't know. By the way, Greg Schiano staying at Ohio State, not going to the Patriots. I like the idea. I'm okay with that. Schiano probably says, let me stay at Ohio State. I'll get a job in college. Schiano was much better at Rutgers than he was in the NFL. Much better off at Rutgers. Let him stay in college. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. All right, we turn our attention to fantasy baseball. Firstly, JD Martinez supposedly getting fed up and wants to sign somewhere else. Well, if somebody was offering you more money, wouldn't you have taken it already? Seriously. I think this is just bluster by Scott Boras. Seriously, if he wanted more money elsewhere, wouldn't somebody have signed him already? Did everybody not go after him because they thought the Red Sox were going after him? Well, that's silly. Would you not go after a girl because somebody else wants a girl? No, you go in, you go all in. So let's see where this shakes out already. Between him and Hosmer and Moustakas, can somebody sign these guys, please? Please. We're fantasy baseball owners. We want to see our players playing. We want to know where they're going to be. It's not that hard. What am I asking for in life? JD, sign your contract. Go to spring training, hit a few home runs. End of story. I don't know. I don't know where he's going to end up. I would have thought Boston, but Boston doesn't. Boston's like, look, we're going to pay you X and not Y. You want X? Be a Red Sox. You want Y? Go elsewhere. Well, JD's like, I want Z. I want all Z money. Every penny. All right, the Mets get Todd Frazier. 2 years, $17 million. Let me tell you something about Todd Frazier. Man, oh man, is this guy's batting average going the wrong direction. Let me give you these numbers. 2014, 273. 2015, 255. 2016, 225. 2017, 213. It's going downhill. That's not good. We don't want to see it go from 273 to 213. I mean, this guy gets up on the plate now. The home runs are there. I'm not going to lie. The home runs are there. He's had 67 home runs in the last 2 years. Can't complain about the home runs. But Citi Field, he could be hitting 220 this year. I mean, the Mets just paid a dude $17 million to hit 220 and 25 home runs and 70 RBIs. My only hope here is that Frazier gets off to a hot enough start that some other team will trade for him at the All-Star break and the Mets get a good AA player and they move on. And because 2 years, $17 million, not the worst contract. Not the worst contract. Somebody will take a shot on that. So I like that. I like it enough for the Mets. I mean, now the Mets infield. Adrian Gonzalez and Todd Frazier. Ugh. Jose Reyes. This is old and decrepit. Ew. Seriously, hard to be a Met fan right now. The Rangers signed Sungwon Oh. I love this signing. Love it. Getting $2.75 million this year and $4.5 million in 2019. But how good was O just a couple of years ago? How good was he? He was pretty good. 2016, 79 and 2/3 innings, 5 home runs, 103 strikeouts, ERA of 1.92 and a whip of .92. That was a great year, and people in drafts last year went after him. And then last year, he imploded. 59 and a third, 10 home runs, 54 strikeouts. So he wasn't striking out guys, and he was very hittable. So I ask myself this question if I'm the Rangers. Am I buying into him thinking this is mental or physical? If it's mental and we can fix his head, we got ourselves a closer. Because I think Keela and Claudio are better used as setup men, personally. I want Keela as the right guy, right-hander, Claudio as a left-hander, bring in O, boom, close the game. I'm good with that. If it's physical, we have some issues. But, I mean, really, are they committing that much? What'd they commit? $3 million? Worth a shot. What if this guy's really good? You go to Texas, there's no pressure to be good, nobody's watching you, nobody cares, and you figure it out. I think it's a great signing for the Rangers. I really do. I think it's a tremendous signing. Absolutely tremendous signing. Okay. Irvin Santana. This is a mess. So he had surgery on the middle finger of his throwing hand. This is a problem. They're talking 10 to 12 weeks, which is about May 15th, give or take. And then, never question this. A baseball pitcher, it's all about gripping the baseball. Well, if you have finger surgery and there's numbness in your finger and you can't grip the baseball, are you going to be able to have any touch, any feel? Now, stay with me. What if you're now in the middle of Minnesota and it's freaking cold in May, which it is. I've seen The Little House on the Prairie. It was chilly. Now, you can't grip the ball until maybe July. And it doesn't feel comfortable again. I'm taking this guy off my radar in mixed leagues 100%. He's 100% off my radar. In AL-only leagues, I may take him in a reserve round or a buck at the end of the draft. That's it. Because I don't think you see the real Irvin Santana until All-Star break. That's my opinion. And I'm Dr. Roto. I know things. I'm just saying I would give it time. I think he's going to need time. He was a very good pitcher last year, but you need to feel the baseball. You need to feel the baseball. You got big fingers. You need to feel it. The grip has to be right, and I don't think it is. I don't think it is. It's a problem. All right, the Astros signed George Springer to a 2-year, $24 million deal. I love me some George Springer. Love me some George Springer. You want to take him in the second round? I love it. You want to take him in the third round? Even better. All right, the Nationals still trying to make a trade for JT Realmuto. But the Marlins want Victor Robles. Yeah, I don't know about that. That seems to be a bit much. But I think there's a deal to be done here if people are more reasonable. Right? Think about this. You got a guy, and you say, you want my guy? Sure, I want your best player. No, thanks. Why does that always happen in fantasy baseball? You know, you want Jose Barrios? Sure, I want Chris Sale. I know Chris Sale is good, but I'm not giving you Chris Sale for Jose Barrios. That's one of the things I really don't like about fantasy baseball. I really don't like being in trading leagues where people get crazy. Because people overinflate their guy, and they underinflate your guy. And then they say, well, I need Chris Sale for Jose Barrios. I go, dude, why would I do that? Well, Barrios has been hot. I'm sure he has been, but he's not Chris Sale. And I know he's won 3 games, but he's not Chris Sale. Well, if you want him, that's what it's going to take. All right, you're not getting him. Bye. Hung up the phone on you. Got to be reasonable. I hate honestly, I'm so down on trading leagues in baseball and in football. But football is a little easier. Because football, there's only so many guys who actually score touchdowns or throw them. So it's more, I think trades are a little more even. In baseball, they're not always even. Sometimes they're really ugly. Seriously, sometimes they're really ugly. And that bothers me. All right. It is PGA DFS. You know that Roto loves his PGA DFS. I don't know if you know this, but last week, there was a moment on Friday, I was number 1 in the 20 max entry. I saw next to my name, Dr. Roto, $10,000. I was like, yeah, baby. Can we stop this tournament right now? And I had all 6 of my guys make the cut. I ended up finishing like 300th or something. But it was good to be there for a second. But Billy Horschel was Billy Horse shit. That's really what he was. Killed me there. But at one time, I literally had like 5 out of my 6 guys were in the top 8. And then I had Billy Horschel. Pretty exciting. All right, so this week it is the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Possibly the most beautiful place ever. Right? Beautiful golf course. So this week, I'm just throwing it out there, the 2 cheap guys who were undervalued on DraftKings are Austin Cook and Rafael Cabrera Bello. They're very cheap. Austin Cook is $7,000, Cabrera Bello is $6,900. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. So if you're in a cash game, you have to get them in your lineup. Have to. Okay? In GPPs, you may choose to fade them. You may. Because everybody's going to own them, and with good reason. Because they're good values. So I think what you do is, imagine you do 20 lineups. I probably would have 7 to 8 lineups with them, and about 12 to 13 lineups without them. Right? If I'm in, I'm good. If I'm out, if they don't play well, I'm ahead of the game. If they do play well, at least I'm in the game. Got to be able to go both ways. This week, you got to like Phil Mickelson. Great spot for Phil. Pat Perez, California golfer. This is his spot. Brandt Snedeker, the Sned, always does well in California. Chez Reavie. Chez Reavie looked very good last week. I don't like the fact that he finished second, right? Because now everybody knows him. Had he finished poorly last week, I would have been all in on Chez. I may fade the Chez this week. Patrick Reed, like him as well. Think he's in a good spot. Love me some Dustin Johnson as always. And I will be in, of course, on Jordan Spieth. I know he's not putting very well. I don't care. He's Jordan Spieth, and we're not. He's a very good golfer. All right, he's a very good golfer. He's one of the all-time great players. So I'll be on him. And I may have some lineups with Dustin and Spieth, right? 2 great guys, and then I'll figure out like the bunch of cheap guys at the end. It's probably what I'm going to do with some of my lineups. All right, so my surprise pick to win, let me see. I will say Patrick Reed. Patrick Reed would be my surprise pick to win. And I do like Phil Mickelson, and I do like Pat Perez. It's California. So if you want to fade Dustin and Spieth, do it on your own risk, but you could. You could this week. All right, you know what else you could do? You could go to scoutdfs.com. Do it right now. Go there if you want to win in daily. I went there yesterday. I did pretty well in basketball, and you know how poorly I've been doing in basketball all year. But I went to Scout DFS. I looked at the articles. I looked at the optimizer. I said, optimizer, help me. I'm Dr. Roto. I got bills to pay. And it did. Did very well last night, so I was very proud. So go to scoutdfs.com. All right. But right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. Back with you tomorrow with more fantasy sports knowledge. And that's how we roll here. This is Dr. Roto saying be well. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!